And welcome to a kind of impromptu Who Gives a Hoot. I'm Braedon. This is right after the team talk on Thursday, April 9th. And this is after the AV Alta match, and we'll be going into Ford Madison and then the Colorado Rapids on Tuesday for the Open Cup. First, I'll do reactions to the team talk itself and what information was gleaned from that. Uh, First off, we've had some news when it comes to stadium developments. There was initially going to be a planned vote on Tuesday for the city council. Team obviously did appear for that. Alexis Boulos did detail about that as well. Uh, the vote was tabled for next week. That's when the city council will make the vote official for I believe it's a tax increment financing or TIF or TIF or whatever you want to call it, which will eventually go to the state. And then there's a couple other votes later this month, specifically for the land purchased by the city as well as the team. So that's on the docket, at least for the future. Something to look forward to in terms of news for the team. Next thing on the team talk front, at least with when it comes to like operating in Creighton, it's a lot. It's definitely a bit more difference. They did talk about specifically the fact that they are working essentially not in their own space anymore. Warner Park was a very different in the fact that it was their space. They had all the resources there, and they're still trying to figure out like how to make this work, which is totally fair. That's definitely something is to be expected. Creighton has been a great host. They did emphasize that, and I certainly think it's worked well so far. Uh, and then on the playing side, that front, Vinny initially was supposed to be the guest. Apparently, he had another appearance that he was supposed to go to tonight, so he was replaced by Alexis. But with Jamie and then Ollie, the assistant coach, uh, being the main guys from at least the soccer side of it, they had some very, very good talks about how they got the roster together this year, just the scouting, the processes, all the other stuff. And overall, I'd say it's been pretty good. They did emphasize the fact that they are not only working with the players and trying to make sure that they are, getting the information that they need, but also that it can translate and that they can execute the whatever plan that they have for that game. uh, Ollie was very gracious enough to tell us about the fact that he's essentially working 24/7, not in the fact that like he's always working, but he does have that work ethic with him at the very least. Uh, and then as for other stuff, at least team news wise, Blake Malone is like the only injured person that we know of at the moment. Obviously, we've seen some injuries on the field otherwise. Um, he is at least at most 2 months away. He is apparently pretty dang close to match fitness. Obviously, they are working with him. He's like full contact. He is at the point where, as they explained it, was neutral, which is he's not playing full contact, but he is playing at least within scrimmages and with the team and doing stuff. And he's transitioning more to that as well. So that's a good thing on Blake's end. Hopefully, we will see him at least in the substitutions or starting 11 within the next month or two. Uh, and then what was the other thing I was thinking of? Oh yeah, and then other news that was not talked about at the team talk was Diego Gutierrez. That was announced that he is now on a permanent deal for the rest of the year. After initially being on the 25-day contract. That's a good announcement. I feel like that's a great addition. He's obviously proved it. Uh, so there's that. Uh, Team talk overall was nothing crazy, nothing new. Had a decent turnout, and if you do have the ability to make it out, I highly suggest it. I enjoy those things. I always like asking questions. There's definitely certain couple questions I really wish Vinny was there for because that's definitely more Vinny specific. But whoever is out there and you do want to make a team talk, make sure you have some questions beforehand because those are pretty big. All right, so now to continue talking to myself about this to you guys, I'm just going to do a quick talk about Indy 11 as well as AV Alta and then our next match against Madison. Uh, so with Indy 11 at the very least, holy moly, this is not, anything new. Uh, Samuel Owusu got team of the round as well again with his amazing goal there. In terms of stats, obviously, Indy 11 did get a red card uh, midway through the half, second half at the very least. But overall, the entire team talking about it as well as at the team talk, they were not going to lose. According to Ollie, that these guys were very focused on winning this game against Indy. Lawrence Whatton, he was the guy that was the hype man in terms of the team talk beforehand. He got them all fired up, and they just weren't going to lose, and it definitely showed. Because even before the red card, at least in the first half, they had 63% possession. Shots were easier, or even with seven for both sides, but having that amount of possession, especially against a team like Indy, they were talking about it as well, and the team talked about how Indy 11 is a lot more physical, and we definitely showed that with the fact that there was a lot of injuries during that game, a lot of players down on the ground. Indy is a very direct playing team, but red card definitely helped a lot, and then two goals, great goals by Owusu and Tequila. And then, of course, the big rumble is the fact we didn't keep a clean sheet. All the players are very much, uh, wishing for that as well. They're definitely trying to get that, trying to be more defensively sound. Uh, at least according to Ollie and Jamie, they definitely had a big groan to that. Uh, as well as the same thing on Saturday later on against AV Alta. Very, very good match. I'd say, at least from my view from it, we looked a little gas, definitely towards the end. We were definitely conceding a lot of possession to AV Alta towards the end. At the same time, though, Alta is a very possession-heavy team, like we are, but not in the same way. Theirs is more, I wouldn't say rhythmic, but a lot more structured compared to, and trying to find things that, I don't know. It's a very interesting structure that's very high possession, but it doesn't always work. They clearly haven't won any. They've not won any games this year. They've also played Spokane either on Tuesday or Wednesday night, and then they lost as well. So yeah, I'd say that's a good 3 points. Unfortunately, we didn't keep a clean sheet there with that one goal, but winning 3-1 like that, getting that first goal by Tequila, Pato getting a pen there, and then Adrian Billhart to seal it towards the end, especially when we were gassed like that. Uh, and then I'm gonna give big props to Cole Jensen. He got not only a Save of the Week nomination, he's got Team of the Week for goalkeeper position on that, and just entire team all around. A lot of rotation, a lot of guys that don't usually get starts. We had the debut of Jamie Orson. Great debut for him as a defender. He did a good shift there. And another stat that was talked about within the team talk itself is that every player on the roster besides Blake this year, who's actually uninjured, has played at least some sort of minutes during the year, whether they started or were subbed on. Uh, so I thought that was a very nice thing to talk about, especially with the fact that like we can use all these guys. A lot of these guys are useful. A lot of these guys can put in minutes, and they can be expected to do stuff. Uh, so yeah, there's that. In terms of like overall stats for the AV Alta game, obviously it was very heavy on Alta because of their possession heavy style. Uh, One thing I have to say as when I was watching the game, I wish we wouldn't have built up in the back as much, or at least we would have switched it up a bit more. We were definitely losing a lot of balls in that final third on our side. Thankfully, Cole Jensen as well as the defense was able to recover those enough, but we were looking gassed at times. And this is definitely that part of the season where we're playing midweek and on the weekend a lot. Um, and which is definitely going to come up because next match is Madison. So Madison is interesting because not only have they only played two games so far this season, whereas almost everyone else has played 4 or 5 matches in the league so far. Madison has 2 wins in the league, and then they lost and got knocked out in the Open Cup by amateur team. So I don't really know what we're working with other than the fact that they brought in a lot of guys that are MLS 2, a lot of college guys, and they also only have one returning player from last year, and that's Derek Gebhard. So we're gonna be interested to see what they do with this. Last time we played Madison, completely different team, completely different trajectory. We were on the high, they were very much on a low. Uh, and I hope we can continue that in the fact that Madison has played, yes, two of the better teams this year, uh, but also in very different circumstances compared to what we are right now. And I think overall, I think we're going to do well. Now, of course, this is Madison's rivalry game, and I won't make any predictions about it. I just hope that we win and that we play well. So, and then finally, we also play in the Open Cup against Colorado Rapids. Very first time we've ever played against Colorado Rapids in any competitive fashion. It would be only in the Open Cup. Um, and the thing about the Rapids is that unfortunately they're actually doing pretty good this year. They did just come off a 3-2 loss against Toronto, but they did 4-1 against Sporting, lost against 3-1 against New York City FC, but they are currently, what is it? They're eighth in the West, in the Western Conference. 3 wins, no draws, 3 losses, which is a lot better than they have in the past. So we'll see what they have. They have quite a bit of a roster uh, in terms of names. Let me have a quick look because I know they have an Aronson brother. They have Zach Steffen, I believe. Hold on. Yeah, they got Zach Steffen. They have an Aronson brother. They have Reggie Cannon. A lot of very well-known Americans, internationals, etc. Now, of course, the question is, are we going to see them on the game? I don't think so. We're definitely going to get a two squad prop from them, maybe a couple guys from their MLS2 side as well, but we shall see on that front. Uh, and it's essentially after that we do play away again at Richmond. So this is a lot of travel next week and a half-ish for these guys, uh, as well as anything in the future. So hopefully a good rotation. I think overall we should be good. I hope that a lot of these guys' injuries aren't too severe, that they're at least able to come back fairly quickly. And overall, I'd say let's keep the streak going. I think this is probably one of our best starts in league history, at least for us. Besides the one loss into Spokane, we're on a 5-game win streak right now. So let's hope we at least keep it undefeated, and hopefully we can at least keep it close against Colorado, because that's what I'm hoping with a lot of these guys. I certainly think that they have that ability. Uh, Trying to think what else in terms of things they said at the team talk. Uh, yeah, I got nothing. So if you're listening to this, please give a shout out to us as well as to the Outlet Media with Zach. He does some very good short form content on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, especially for the reactions to post matches. He's definitely a lot better for that. And otherwise, go Owls.